Hello everybody, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
And we have a wonderful special guest here, Becky, for this podcast about La La Land. Oh, wait. What? Moonlight! This is a Moonlight episode.
Moonlight one. Come on, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. I'm afraid they read the wrong thing.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture. Moonlight, Best Picture.
We got it wrong. It was Moonlight. What a great gag. Definitely worth it. We'll get to that later. Do you remember on Eurovision when it was the Eurovision year, the summer of that Oscars, and the woman went, 12 points go to La La Land. I'm kidding. Azerbaijan.
I love Eurovision.
And that was a great year for funny points givings, because there was a guy who went, hello, and me and my sister laughed for a month.
Is that the year we had Nigella?
Probably. It's nothing else to do. Yes, we are talking about 2017's? 16.
16.
2016's.
December 2016, I think.
Yeah. 2016's La La Land. A choice of our special guest, Becky Muggeridge. Could you please introduce this wonderful film?
You're fired.
It's Christmas.
Yeah, I see the decorations. Good luck in the new year.
Well, La La Land is my favourite film for various reasons, but essentially the plot is an actress meets a musician. They don't get off to a great start, but then eventually sort of start to fall in love. And then they're both trying to follow their dreams, and they realise that following their dreams means that they can't be together, and that's essentially the plot. And it's just great in every way.
It's great. And of course, well, I'll get to the point. This is a lot of notes here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. Opening line, Hall of Fame. I dreamt about that day. Oh, we're so good with Greyhound Station.
Another day of sun.
Another day of sun.
God.
Let's talk, let's go into it. Is this, I mean, it's not, but is this one of the better musical opening films of all time?
I like it because obviously it's not a line, but the song is incredible. It's an incredible introduction. It kind of explains why most people come to LA. And just that opening scene, the dance number, the fact it was all done in pretty much one or two shots. Oh, it's so good.
It is
and
great.
The colours.
Before we jump straight into the film, I want to talk a little bit about La La Land fever, because this is where Will comes in. Because Will, this is your first watch. You were a virgin.
Yes, and I'm
in
glad
2016 you were a virgin as well, weren't you? Funny stuff.
We've got lots of humour on the show.
Go on, tell us about why you, because it was a choice to not watch this film.
It was. I am pro-choice for La La Land. I thought at the time it was overhyped, and I took the stance, you know what, I'm not going to watch this. Not out of protest, but just, I looked at it and I thought, it's not the movie I want it to look like. It's got the recipe for my perfect movie, and I thought, something just doesn't seem right. So I'll wait for it to come out on ITV2 or something. But then I ended up doing a podcast and had to watch it before that came.
Oh, God. This fucking internet.
Hello? Hello?
Fucking hell.
We do apologise for the breakdown in this programme. We hope to get it back to you just as soon as possible.
No, Isabel, I'm recording a podcast. I don't want a pancake.
Oh, I'll have one.
This is going great. You have missed out, though, Will, because it was phenomenal in the cinema. I saw it in the cinema twice. I'm not going to be a film snob and say that it was a different experience. But, Becky, I'm sure that you revelled in the cinema experience of this film as well.
Yeah, it just, I think the first time I watched it was probably the best time I watched it, just because it's made for cinema. It's incredible. Like, that, just, it needs a cinema environment, basically.
I just heard you play, and I wanted... It's pretty strange that we keep running into each other.
Maybe it means something.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so. You could just write your own rules, you know, write something that's as interesting as you are.
What are you gonna do?
I have my own club.
Is that gonna happen every time? I think so.
How are you going to be a revolutionary if you're such a traditionalist? You're holding on to the past, but jazz is about the future.
Yeah, which leads on to the lovely little cinemascope, starting in the thing and panning out, just like Oklahoma. Oh, Oklahoma, the wind comes creeping down the hill. Best YouTube comments. Similar to When I Met Sally, which we've done, but people have yet to see. Most of these are I lost the love of my life. This is not a movie. Wrong. This is not a musical. Wrong. This is a masterpiece. I don't know why it can't be all three, but according to Lexi, this is from Genius Dolphin 2 years ago, and she's edited it. Came here from The Greatest Showman. It's amazing. Still, I'll never forget La La Land. Greatest of all time.
How can you come here from The Greatest Showman?
Imagine your introduction into musical theatre being The Greatest Showman.
And then she's going down the list. I saw this with my ex in theatres. We now have a 1-year-old son. Is he your ex or not? I don't get it. That's from Ooh Filthy.
That's a wonderful comment.
I saw that comment.
Yeah, Ooh Filthy as well. What sort of name is that? I guess it's safe to say that everyone here in the comments section has had love for someone that didn't end up with in the end, but life goes on. Hope you're all doing okay. Well, some are doing better than others. Yeah, you know, let's not get too autobiographical, but there is obviously a different lens to this film when you go through similar endeavours. I was lucky enough the first time to see it undiluted, and this time, no. Yes, but it's obviously I still cried in the cinema, but now, yeah, like a baby. Will, did you cry? Did you know the ending?
I didn't know the ending. However, I did cry in the ending. I cried. Well, we'll get to it later, but one of my favourite moments was when she's leaving Seb's and they just exchange looks. It got me. It got me.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty beautiful stuff. And we'll get to my opinions on Mia eventually.
Can I comment as well? Whilst we're
Of course you can comment.
Because I'm assuming that the YouTube that you found was the trailer.
I looked at the trailer. I also looked at a few comments from the ending. Somebody had uploaded.
See. Well, if you look, okay, I just want to talk about the trailer because the way they make it out, like in that scene where they first sort of meet in the place where he's playing Christmas songs on the piano.
Oh yeah.
They make it out like they just immediately kiss, and you think that's going to be the movie. They're going to fall in love. It's going to be great. Yeah. And then you watch it for the first time, and you realise that doesn't happen.
Great trailers.
So good.
Great trailer. I remember this goes into the La La Land fever, because obviously we're British. And so we watched it with the knowledge. When it first came out, it was February for us. And we watched it with all of the Oscar buzz, every American critic putting it more or less. I mean, it was pretty divisive, but initially, the initial sweep was everybody's favourite film of the year, incredible. Then you've got the Moonlight thing, which we'll get to later. So we went into it without any of our own onus, knowing that this was maybe the best film of the year. And that trailer, just it's an impeccable trailer.
Segment here, because the soundtrack is amazing.
It is an incredible
the best movie music I've heard in ages.
Justin Hurwitz, pardon me. Best 10-minute stretch.
Ooh.
Do we want to get to it now? Because am I in disagreement here? Because I think there is no doubt that it's the epilogue. I have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to Will last night, and I think his opinion is the same.
I was saying that in itself could be a short film. You wouldn't need context. Becky says you probably do need a build-up of characters, but you could look in that and kind of work it out for yourself. Just from the moment where she walks into a new house onwards, it could be its own short film in itself. It's that good.
Here's my question. How much is a fantasy? And because it's clearly from her point of view, but a lot of the stuff, because there you go, you've got it, but a lot of the stuff is also what he would have wanted. And is it a slightly selfish thing on her part? Because in her dream, in her fantasy, he doesn't get any money by going with John Legend. He follows her blindly to Paris, manages to get at his chicken on a stick, but presumably has to then return to America and lose his club. When in her fantasy, everybody comes to see her shitty one-woman show.
It's an interesting thought, because I've never viewed it as her dream. I've viewed it as both of them are kind of almost reminiscing about what could have been. And it's more for the viewer than it is for her or him.
Yeah.
Because you can tell they're both thinking, oh, what if, basically.
Well, they've got
and then you're swirled into this world of what if.
Well, you've got the thing of when you're that deep in a relationship, your dreams and futures become the same, more or less. I have no doubt that at the peak, me and, certain ladies would have given the exact same, 10-step plan.
But then that's the beauty of the film, is it shows you that, sometimes you can't, sometimes you can't, be together and follow what you want to do in life. Particularly if you've met young, then you just kind of go separate ways, and that's fine, and that happens in life. That's just, another part of life.
We're going to get to Tom's big question. It's going to be good. Tom's weirdly specific favourite part of the film. I've got 5. It's definitely, the top answer is definitely, it's definitely that. And I'm putting in my second note of the floppy hair.
Oh, it's wonderful. It never has anything accentuated kind of playing more.
I put here real hands.
Yeah, no, he learned to play the piano.
He learned to play the piano.
No, but I'm sure that's not what I mean. I know you did, but it's definitely. Is it Rebel Hands? I got the bullet, but that wouldn't be one of my favourite parts. I need to be more specific. J.K. Simmons at the end in the.
Oh, you took one of mine. It's wonderful.
Very good. No, Jamal, you be tripping. Why you be tripping, lady? Never mind.
No, you be tripping.
It's great stuff. Will's more general favourite part of the film.
Well, my three favourites. We've got the ending, of course. We've got J.K. Simmons with the dream sequence. And I think my personal favourite, Iran. That's my favourite bit.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Which flock of seagull, which country did Flock of Seagulls sing about in the 80s? Iran.
Oh, no.
It is great. Yeah. Good stuff. That whole
I've got
band scene.
a couple of favourite bits.
Yeah, shoot.
The tripping bit, I love that.
Yeah.
There's the bit where the first time they've been to the lighthouse, I think it's the first time anyway, when they both walk their separate ways and she looks back, then she turns away, and then he looks back and then he turns away. And then it goes into City of Stars. That's just the line, how are you going to be how are you going to be a revolutionist if you're such a traditionalist? That line said by John Legend.
Keith.
Love it.
John Legend, maybe the least Keith-looking Keith in a movie.
Yeah, Keith, a questionable character name.
Questionable Keith. I've wrote that play. No, okay.
And then we'll come on to best single minute later because I think I've got to.
Yes, the Oscar travesty. Let's share my.
Quite
screen.
literally, La La Land. No, wait, Moonlight. That's the travesty.
Did they make the right choice?
Here we go. The Oscar travesty for me was, well, Amy Adams wasn't even nominated for Best Actress for
Arrival. Well, yes, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, that was going to be my point. Is Emma Stone the Best Actress of that year? I don't see it. I'd loved Natalie Portman in Jackie. I thought Jackie was excellent. And even better, as Will says, Arrival. Amy Adams, not even nominated. All the same, she does a fine job. Meryl Streep for Florence Foster Jenkins. Jesus Christ. What a terrible film.
I love that film. It's wonderful. Hugh is wonderful also.
Hugh's great in it. Is Meryl Streep the only actress to ever play somebody with syphilis twice? Does she have a niche? Like, out of Africa? And then, it's like, I just can't get enough. Yes, Best Picture, Moonlight. I
haven't seen Moonlight, so I can't really comment on this.
Will, have you seen Moonlight?
I know. I haven't seen it. I know about it. I know the plot. I've read things.
As the apparent Moonlight aficionado, my point has always been, I think they got it split. Chazelle won Best Director, Moonlight won Best Picture. I agree that it should be a split, but I think they got the split wrong. I think Moonlight is a better directed film, and I think that La La Land is the better film. Mel Gibson, Hacksaw Ridge, can get rid of that. Best Actor, I'm sorry, Ryan, any other year, but Casey Affleck in Manchester by the Sea is one of the better performances of the decade.
Yeah.
If not of the past 25 years. Best Supporting Actor, I'm rather happy that I didn't think John Legend was going to get a nomination. That's a pretty nice, apart from Lucas Hedges in Manchester by the Sea. I think we've got a Manchester by the Sea episode scheduled. Sophia very much likes it. And Lucas Hedges, I don't understand. How is this man having such a career? He's not that good. I don't get it. Anyway, Best Supporting Actress, Nicole. Lion wasn't that great, but give her an award. Well, no, actually, it should have gone to Michelle Williams in Manchester by the Sea. Best original screenplay, Manchester by the Sea, very good. Lobster, very good.
I've not seen most of these.
Oh, well, get on it. These are good films.
Clearly need to.
Best adapted, we ain't got any. La La Land. Best original song. Well, yeah, score without a shadow of a doubt. Best original song is "City of Stars" the best song in the film?
I love it, but no. Someone in the Crowd is my all-time favorite from
Yeah.
La La Land. I just think it's just a masterpiece.
But is it as good as "Can't Stop the Feeling" from Trolls?
It's a million times better.
Yeah, I'd say City of Stars. I'd go for a second nomination because that's just that was the hit, and it's a beautiful song. I don't know Audition. I'm not seeing that really as the second best song in the film.
Audition for me was the worst song.
Mm.
It was
was
still a
the
good
song
song.
that when I first saw the movie, I was a bit sort of disappointed that it wasn't like a big all-out number. But at the same time, like the more I've listened to it, the more I've appreciated that that's exactly what that scene needed, and it fits very well into the movie. So.
Emma Stone, is she that good a singer?
Okay, look, this is not the point. Everyone says the reason that the reason people don't like La La Land is because it's like not, an all-out musical. They should have picked better singers, and I'm like, but the focus wasn't on the fact it's a musical. The focus is on the film itself and like the beauty of it. And it's supposed to be kind of soft and, like just the focus isn't on the singing. It's not supposed to be that kind of musical.
Yeah, we'll get to it. It's in one of my notes, but I'm afraid Woody did it first. We'll get to that later. The incredible Woody Allen, I'm afraid, has done this premise before. This is a new segment, and it'll only appear on this episode. Maybe the Moonlight. Maybe we'll watch it again. But let's do a rewatch of this incredible moment. So great. Let's break it down. We've got Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty. Warren looks like he's blitzed. Faye, does she know where she is? I don't know. So I don't know what she's trying to say there. May even change our thinking. Is she insinuating that there were homophobic people in the audience, or prior to watching Moonlight? But after that, they've changed it. Oh, now Warren's talking about politics. Everybody gets a big clap for talking about Trump. Let's get to here we are.
He does the Maggie Smith double take, which is wonderful.
Well, the thing is, obviously, the truth is, they put a copy of the Emma Stone Best Actress in. Warren clearly sees that it's wrong, shows it to Faye Dunaway. She just reads La La Land and goes, La La Land, and just gives it straight away. So let's watch it in real time. Okay, so he sees it. He definitely knows something's wrong. He's looking for another card.
Panicking. He's panicking.
You're impossible, says Faye Dunaway. Come on. La La Land. Oh, and then this painful moment.
You can at this bit, you can hear Warren say, "It's Emma Stone," and she goes, "Really? What?"
And then, they all come up. Very upsetting.
Oh, this is so painful.
This guy,
so
small
painful.
little guy. You've got the three guys. You've got small little guy who's annoyed. You've got this angry bald man who looks like he's going to hit somebody.
So angry in my life. The bit where at the end where he says, I'm happy to give this to my friends in Moonlight.
In Moonlight.
Oh.
And then Jimmy Kimmel tries to save it. Well, we got some more speeches. And then this guy who hears everything, and he
still gives his speech, even though he knows it was.
This is a movie about dreamers and fighting change. Thank you. and then he's showing them. He's showing them. He's making it clear.
He's fully aware at the moment, and he thought, "No, I'll still give my Oscar speech."
Ryan's having the time of his life. Warren's getting involved, and then
it's the little guy with the head mic.
Yeah, who's clearly been fired, and then he throws in. We lost, by the way. Incredible. Here we go. This is not a drill. No. Grabs it. Moonlight. You won't miss it.
He was thinking of a paper cut. He just snatches it from him.
And then they're back up. It's Matt Damon, isn't it? It cuts to Matt Damon, and he's just having a great time. Barry Jenkins can't believe it. Yeah, there's been a mistake. It's baffling to me how this could ever happen. John Legend's got a big smile.
I just like that it happened for Best Picture as well. Like
the
most important one.
The big award.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Sort of, it could have happened for, like Best Supporting Actress, and it would have been embarrassing, but it's like not the main one.
Not the one that's got 20 people on the stage.
Yeah.
And it was one of those movies, like, I remember Slumdog Millionaire, where Danny Boyle got everybody up, and there were like 30 people on stage. Whereas sometimes you get an Argo, and there's already 5 producers. So they just, what do you call it? 5 of them go up. No, 25 people on the stage, getting ready. All get their own speeches. Moonlight is a great film. I begrudge nothing of Moonlight. I think that La La Land may just be the better film. And then obviously they brought Faye and Warren back next year in The Shape of Water to redeem themselves. And they did manage to get it right. Well, that's one hell of an Oscar travesty. That might be the second episode, but that might be the best Oscar travesty moment we ever had.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't touch on with the Oscars was that it won Best Cinematography, which I 100% completely agree with.
Yep.
And just this is one of the best films for cinematography that I've ever seen.
Beautiful colours.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful is the word to use. Beautiful. There is no apter word to
whoever
use.
was in charge of editing it so that the colors really stood out and getting those like lovely night, the sunset shots.
Yes. Will's favourite building or set?
Well, yeah, that follows on because this film, of course, won Best Production Design as well, which is what I want to do when I am grown up.
There we go.
Yeah. For me, it's the movie set in 2 different areas. First of all, when she's working at the cafe, and it's just it's reminiscent of the golden era of Hollywood. It's just wonderful. I want to work in that cafe. I don't know what she was playing at. I would happily work in that cafe for the rest of my life.
We're going to get to
the
this.
Stars.
We're going to get to this. Mia, she makes some terrible decisions.
Working as a barista, a wonderful job, in a place where every day movie stars come and have chats with. What?
Maybe she struggles more. I don't know, or maybe what I write is shit. But I've written over 10 plays now, over 10 screenplays, and I'm close to finishing a novel. Whilst being at college, whilst working all the time, you do not need to lose your little coffee job to write your crappy. I keep saying crappy.
I was thinking
we never see this. There is no reason. And then she begrudges she begrudges Sebastian for going out and working. Oh, we'll get to it. There is a lot of problems, I think.
But then also in the dream sequence, the little montage with the whole movie sets and the painted back, that's a wonderful set as well. I think those 2, because the whole stylized production design of the film, how it's modern day, but it's the golden age of Hollywood. It is beautiful to look at.
Incredible stuff. Best single minute. We'll fit this in before we go for a break. Shoot,
Right.
Becky, you've got a bug in
Okay.
your pants.
I don't know if these are my favorite overall bits, but they're things that I haven't been mentioned yet that were great.
Yeah.
The argument that they have over dinner and how it like gradually escalates to the extent, and then he goes to take something out of the oven, and then she
leaves.
Out, like, just the whole scene was perfectly done. And then the second one was the conversation they have when he goes to tell her about the callback that she gets towards the end.
That's good.
And she's like, I'm not good enough. And he's like, you are. I'm not. You are. I'm not. And then they like have a whole conversation, and it's just, it feels so real.
Is it as good as when it comes to like, obviously, I know my personal favorite is obviously, I'm the dog. I'm the dog.
You know how a year to a person is like 7 years to a dog?
Yes? Is one of us supposed to be a dog in this scenario?
Yes.
Who is the dog?
You are.
I am. I am the dog. I am the dog.
The big second act argument. But on a more serious note, the Star is Born, the latest one, had a pretty good one in the bath that I think beats this.
I've not seen
You're
A Star
fucking
is
ugly.
Born.
You're fucking ugly. It's good. Buffalo Bill
Yeah,
voice.
it's not the best argument, like
Ever.
dialogue-wise, of all films.
Oh no, it's
but
pretty
I just
great.
like
though.
how they did it.
I
And
do
it
not
feels,
begrudge your single minute. Yeah, William, your single minute.
I ran.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Tom's story time. We've got just enough time before we have to go for a break. Tom's story time. I was in Philadelphia, and they were screening Rebel Without a Cause, and there was this beautiful girl, lovely, lovely girl, and I thought, oh, I'll take her to see Rebel Without a Cause, and that's my favorite single minute is the hand leaning in for a kiss, because I think there is no more perfect representation of that first cinema kiss that we all have, and there's the trepidation of the hand.
They finish off the film that they essentially go to see.
They do.
By going to the planetarium. Oh, yeah.
It's great stuff. Except in Rebel Without a Cause, Sal Mineo gets shot. Should be a very different ending. I get the bullets. Have you seen Rebel Without a Cause, Becky, or are you a Mia?
I am a Mia.
You haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. Oh my. Right, now we're going to jump into What's the Change? Will, why don't you take us this time? As a first-time viewer?
I would love to take it up. It's the lack of music. I think you know which part I'm talking about. There's that half an hour where there needs to be another song.
Yeah.
I was thinking, there's an artistic reason why this is happening, because the idea is that the music's meant to represent like the colour, the hope in their lives, and then as all the argument and the fallout that happens, and it's really nice to highlight that with the lack of music.
Yeah.
But then even when he comes up and gives her this big opportunity with the audition, and then things start getting back together, you still got to wait another 15 minutes or so for another song, which isn't the best. I think they need to be more clever or make the reason why they're not using music more justified, or just give us another song.
And make it more obvious. Make those middle scenes really realistic.
Yeah.
Cut all the colour. Cut any of the... Just cut any of the fantasy. Make it really realistic. That's mine. Yeah, spacing of the songs. I don't even think that it's a matter of like too little songs on the soundtrack. I think it's spacing. I think you've got that first 30 minutes. It's just back to back, more or less. Becky?
I've got a slightly different change. In that after rewatching it, I wasn't too affected by that spacing. I thought it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the reason why they've done it. But my biggest issue is a tiny, tiny thing. In Lovely Night, when they go into their big tap dance, great choreography, and you can just about hear the taps, but like they really need to up the tap sounds.
Is it because it's gravel though?
Yeah, but like in movies, if you're going to do a tap scene, you have to like put mics down or have a way to pick, and just the balance of that, like the tap sounds and the music, sounded like slightly out for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when I first watched it, I was really like excited for this big tap number, and I was just a bit disappointed that you couldn't really hear it. You couldn't really appreciate the tap.
Well, you have the great. Oh, that sound. I like that.
Yeah.
As a man who loves the sound of cars on gravel or people walking on gravel, I really like gravel. Weird obsessions. Yeah, gravel's great. Yeah, gravel. I also have the camera spin at the end of someone in the crowd. I really don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I liked it the first time I watched it, but this time I watched it, I was a bit like, it's a bit messy.
I was watching an interview with the choreographer. She said the reason why they did that was to emphasize the fact that there is a cut, so they need a big energetic switch. But I want to see her turn. I want to see her spin.
Yeah.
I know the camera's doing it, but it's no.
Then up to the fireworks that look like an apocalypse.
I don't know. I kind of got that whole scene is a little bit hazy because it's supposed to be like party and getting a little bit drunk.
Here's what I thought. I know it's stylized and like it's meant to be as if in a play people would do that, the sort of the freeze frame. But I think that needed slow motion. I think it was just weird, the fact that people were just stood like that. Even if we were doing that, but it was slightly slow motion and she was walking through. And then it sped up, splash. That would have worked. I think the fact that they were just like doing that, it didn't work for me.
No, because you lose the grace. I think the gracefulness of such a nice long slong, a nice slow long, and they take her down and they spin them. Yeah, I mean, I get your point, but what's left from Will's notes?
Not much. I didn't really make many notes because it was the first time I'd watched it, and I wanted to watch it properly. But I think I've covered most of my points, to be honest.
Well,
more J.K. Simmons. That's
true. Yeah. Is this better than Whiplash?
So imagine if Jones had just said, well, that's okay, Charlie. That was all right. Good job. And Charlie thinks to himself, well, shit, I did do a pretty good job. End of story. No bird. That to me is an absolute tragedy. But that's just what the world wants now. People wonder why jazz is dying. I'll tell you, man, and every Starbucks jazz album just proves my point, really. There are no two words in the English language more harmful than good job.
Yes. So I will appreciate Whiplash as a good film.
You know what? I'm going to do really, really devil's advocate argument. I think neither of them are as good as his third film, First Man, which came and went in cinemas, came and went at the Oscars. Ryan Gosling should have won Best Actor. Never mind not even getting nominated. Claire Foy was excellent in it. I think that's a phenomenal film that more people need to see. And it doesn't have any jazz in it, but yeah. Sorry, Will, go on.
I think they're completely different movies, so it's hard to compare them for me. Because I don't. Whiplash is more of an Oscar film, if you know what I mean. It's made more for awards. But La La Land it's also made more for awards, but it's an experience where Whiplash, you can tell J.K. Simmons wanted that award. The cuts are made specifically. It's an atmospheric movie.
I think 2 points. La La Land is what makes La La Land currently not feel like an Oscar movie is that it's an Oscar movie for 1955. In 1955, this would be, I have no doubt this would sweep in everything. Like your West Side Story, like your Sound of Music. It's great. And your second point, let's talk about the casting. Obviously, the original casting was Miles Teller and Emma Watson. And they both fired their agents after finding out that they'd missed the opportunity. Yeah. So, I mean,
yikes.
I know the answer. But let's just throw it out there. Is this movie better with them?
What, better with the people who are actually cast?
Better with Miles Teller and Emma Watson.
No.
Ryan
No,
and Emma are
at all.
such a good combo. Their like chemistry's so good.
It's great.
Yeah, like they were the perfect characters for that.
My sister prefers Crazy Stupid Love.
I
Miles,
also love Crazy Stupid Love.
It's great.
But La La Land is better.
Miles and Emma look too young for these characters. Miles has a baby face.
And I don't think Miles has the charisma.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Superb in that film.
We'll find out when we eventually watch Top Gun Maverick, whenever that comes out. Right then, what's left from Tom's notes? A lot. Yellow Girl, I'll be very quick because there's a lot. Ingrid Bergman poster on the wall. Excellent. As a man with an Ingrid Bergman poster on his wall, I agree. Yellow Girl is too quiet at the start. I don't about that.
That's what I said. That's
too
it,
quiet.
wasn't it?
Far too quiet.
As the opening bam of the movie.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Belly
I
Era.
agree that was quite soft, but again, the soft tone is supposed to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chills on Blonde's arms is meant to refer to how I get chills when the blonde lady goes when she does her arms. I don't, however, like when she looks at the camera and goes.
Oh, is that the end of when they're in the house getting changed?
Yeah.
Oh no, I hate it when she look. Oh no,
I don't like the look.
It's terrifying.
But when she does the arms, that's good. Maybe it's because
She does the arms, yeah.
The arms is a recurring motif as well.
When I Met Sally your issue with When I Met Sally, Will, was obviously maybe it wasn't your issue, but you talked about how over 5 years it's a bit incredulous that they meet 3 times. This is an actual one where it makes no sense. They meet in a highway.
But then it's justified because of the stylized nature of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, if you think about it, it's only like the first 3 times. It only happens 3 times. Yes, it is within 1 season, which is quite a short period of time. But if they're in kind of the music and actor businesses, you could see how there's crossovers.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he goes to find her afterwards, like every other time, is sort of expected. So I think it's fine.
Annoying Brit. Again, a green dress this time. Or is it another yellow dress? She's in a yellow
someone
dress.
in the crowd?
Someone in the crowd.
Yeah. No, I noticed this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone in the crowd. Don't like her at all. The Brits get short shrifted this film.
Except for the photography guy. He's the best Brit.
He's on the notes, don't worry. Bathroom loneliness. I like how I write notes. As somebody who is a real bathroom loner, who goes to bathrooms all the time during big events because it's just terrible. And then that leaving quality. I don't know, you're saying it'd look better in slow motion, but I think that perfectly emulates You know, the quality of leaving a party at 11:30. Snow shot, incredible, beautiful. Maybe the most beautiful shot in the film.
Wonderful.
Guy and then that leads into the guy falling into the pool. Excellent. Eyes Wide Shut. The piano bar looks an awful lot like the piano bar that Nick Nightingale is playing at in Eyes Wide Shut. The first one where he gets fired from, all of the Christmas lights. Maybe it's the Christmas lights thing, but it looks an awful look like Cafe Samba, I think it's called in Eyes Wide
With all the Christmas decks.
Yeah. We'll have to do an Eyes Wide Shut episode. That will be a very long and very good episode, just to discuss the first shot. There's a nice way to say that, Karen. I like that line a lot. I like Karen. I like, welcome back. She sounds like she's on a sex phone line. She's very deep. Hello. Issue with jazz firing. Right. This has annoyed me from the very first thing. Why doesn't he just play the set list? Nobody is that big an artist that playing Jingle Bells is so offensive. However, what's J.K. Simmons' problem? It's not like he's playing, I don't know, Prodigy Firestarter or like something with swearing in. He's playing this beautiful little dee-dee-dee-dee or whatever, the Mia and Sebastian's theme. Why does J.K. Simmons get so pissed off at that?
Because it's I'll do my sequel synopsis now. This is Whiplash 2. And this is after he loses his job, he becomes the owner of a jazz bar, and he just takes out all of his anger, hiring many musicians and firing them.
Yeah.
That's
after losing his job as a jazz conductor due to constant verbal abuse.
I mean, you get the impression. It's very well done, this scene, because from the start of it, where he starts playing and everyone looks and is like, "What are you doing?" which is very accurate, and then like when he plays that motif at the end of one of the Christmas songs over and over again, and nobody notices, and you can see his frustration building, which is why he goes to play something himself, because he's like, I'm fed up of these boring things that literally nobody is listening to. I'm just going to play what I want to play. That's why he plays it. And then I think you can tell that the reason J.K. Simmons is angry is because he's done it repeatedly. Like, that's the impression that's given anyway.
And then he immediately begs for his job back. Please, it's Christmas. Yeah, see the decorations. Even to the New Year. Annoying Emma. I really don't like Emma Stone when she does her thing of, I just call it annoying Emma. It's during Iran where she's doing all the.
Oh, I love it! I love it!
I love
it.
Maybe I'm alone then. I find her intensely annoying. The 80s argument.
The best bit's her smile at the end, and she's like, and she walks. Oh, it's a wonderful scene.
Because it's her revenge for him just like pushing her out the way, and she's like, "Lol."
I do think the best bit of that scene though is Ryan just playing the piano guitar, and he's just like the little looks he gives. They're genius.
Ryan Gosling.
That's an actor.
He's the actor of our generation. I'm saying it now.
Yes. That man.
He can do. Yeah. He's my new George Clooney in the fact that I wish I was Ryan Gosling, because he can do everything.
He can do it all.
Comedy. He can do Blue Valentine, which is this, but without the songs, and they're all depressed and miserable. Great film. George Michael. Her joke doesn't work. He doesn't look like George Michael. They don't play any George Michael songs.
It looks more like Bono.
Yeah. And the Michael Jackson red leather Eddie Murphy raw suit that he's wearing doesn't look like George Michael. Bad joke, Emma.
Bad joke. Was it Fantastic Mr. Fox? You wrote a bad song.
Fantastic
Mr. Fox.
We sure are. Movies. Yeah. We would be remiss to mention The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, the beautiful French film I have right here. It was Damien Chazelle's biggest influence. Exact same sort of thing of what do you call it? realism, but with the few songs in between. It has it doesn't have the same ending, but it's 10 years later, and he's working at a gas station, and she pulls in, and it's all French, and every word's sung. So it's like, I want to buy some gas, and it's by the end of it, you're with it, and it's beautiful. It's like, is it your daughter? Yes, that is my daughter. I'll wait forever. I would wait forever. That's from that, which was best used in the Futurama dog episode. I would wait forever, because he goes to war. Yeah. Anyway, enough about the Umbrellas of Cherbourg. And Woody Allen, Everyone Says I Love You. Basically, the exact same thing as this. All the people do their own singing, and a lot of them, he had to make them sing worse because he didn't want them to sound too good. And it's the same sort of thing. So, like all the best things, Woody did it first. Whole bench scene. There is no greater joy I feel in this film than when they jump on the bench and you're like, oh, it's ended, and then you remember, and it only takes a split second. But I don't know why I forget every time. But then you've got the dun, 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 and they start again, and it's great. Walk to his car is this beautiful gesture. As soon as you realise his walk, he could have just got into his car and walked all the way there. This is me as
I like that whole scene, the fact that they're kind of both playing on the fact they kind of fancy each other, but they're also not admitting it, but they're also kind of being a bit mean to each other.
She needs to get rid of Greg. What a waste of a character. What a waste of an actor. Finn Whitrock's really good. Finn Whitrock is really good.
Is he supposed to be like a banker or something?
I don't know.
Because
he's supposed to be like, yeah.
His colleague spoke Chinese in the middle of their conversation.
Yeah. The point is, people who don't act or like jazz are cool. No, I don't know. Jazz clubs, however, are very cool. I went to a jazz club in Philadelphia called Chris's. Pop up an image. Great, and it was just like this, and I went with two annoying jazz people. Well, they weren't annoying, but they kept doing like, oh, is this Flightless Bird Kookabookadoogu? Like, oh yeah, it is. Oh wait, oh no, he's going into Ferris Bueller Cockabadaboo-Boo, and it was like, he's doing it. This is just pure Miles. This is Miles, baby. This is Miles. You're like, but all the same, I enjoyed it, and I had a great chicken sandwich called an Ella Fitzgerald. I don't know if she liked chicken, and I don't know if she asked for the tomatoes out of it either. Rebel Without a Cause, I've already talked about my miserable story. Oh yeah, the miserable ending of that story is that, of course, flying. Not to bring her up again, but the ex hated the flying scene. She thought that this was the bit that broke the movie. She thought that it was just, everything else.
I feel like it goes a bit weird, but also I feel like if you look at it in the context of they're essentially finishing off this film that they went to see because it stopped playing, that's why they go to the planetarium, that's why they kind of act this all out, then that's why they kiss and the shot goes like that. I think if you look at it from that perspective, it's very artistically done. But yeah,
I think it's beautiful.
If you just watch it without thinking it through, really, you can quite easily go, oh, this is really weird. Why are they suddenly flying? This is very not realistic.
See, so she was wrong about that and wrong about leaving me. Summer montage. Great. Summer montage is really good. That's my note on that. Keith, do we like the character of Keith?
I sighed when I saw John Legend because I thought, oh, here we go. But it's a wonderful use of John Legend. He's fantastic.
This leads me on to, do we care at all about the Messengers subplot?
I like it. I think it's very, that's the realistic bit, is because if you're a musician, you're not going to earn money unless you're doing something
John
like
Legend
that.
shit.
Like going on tour, and there's a very much a pressure to keep going, otherwise you're going to stop earning money. And I like that he just brings out this random like drum beat on top of it.
Yeah, very early on.
Reaction, and he goes to play, and then he's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Could It Be Magic by Barry Manilow? I don't know if this was an influence, but the opening of Could It Be Magic is just piano. Dun, 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 dun. And it's great. And I'm sure that was an influence for, what is it even called? I See the Fire? Start a Fire?
Start a Fire,
yeah. How cool is Ryan Gosling playing the piano with one hand and his other hand in the pocket? Is this the coolest thing of the past 5 years? Is this going to go down in history with Marlon Brando's eye roll in his camera test?
He's just such a cool man. I mean, in that scene as well, when he has like 3 keyboards and one of them's that like weird synth thing.
Yeah. I want one.
Oh,
great stuff. Here we go. Does Mia hate the messengers because Ryan Gosling's the sexy pianist who's like the guy who never speaks in the interviews, and he's the guy in the back of the band who all the women love? Is that why Mia doesn't like the messengers?
But it's not that she doesn't like them. They're actually a band that like it's music she would listen to, and she says that. But it's the fact that it's taking him away from his dream, and she's such like a dream-focused person.
But this is the thing.
Everyone to follow their dream,
this
and
is
can't
the thing.
understand why you wouldn't.
You can't do your dream without a bit of cash.
They're both acknowledging the fact that he doesn't. He knows he doesn't enjoy it. She knows he doesn't enjoy it. But how else is he going to get money? It's very good pay. Just do it for a couple of years, maybe a few months. Yeah, and then open your bar. There's nothing wrong with
her financial decisions of saying leave it now.
This is what I mean. She's a very
and have no capital.
Person.
Yeah, I know, because
she's a very
sacks a job at
company. She comes from this acting world, and I think he's much more like
alcoholic
down to earth
auntie
and, like,
who used to jump into Paris rivers.
I think that's the reason why the dialogue in the argument scene wasn't as strong as it could be, because her argument was flawed.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the point.
Maybe that's just all women. No. Is Mia in the wrong? Let's do it now. Mia.
Yes.
Everything she says. And also, I'm just going to say it now. Here are my notes. Does Mia hate, like, for a string in that 20-minute block, is Mia in the wrong? Next note. Again, is Mia in the wrong? Is the rest of, and this is a real note, will the rest of my notes just say, is Mia in the wrong? Because she has no right, really, to be angry about him going to that having to go to the photo shoot.
I don't know, that point I disagree with, because
Yeah.
that's his fault for making the mistake about the dates. And like, this is such a big thing to her, and again, because she's so dreams focused.
Yeah,
like,
but he's had to sit through it once already in her bedroom. How many times can you sit through a one person play?
I just think if I was Mia, I would be very upset if like Seb hadn't come to the show. Particularly after like things were on breaking point already, and then that was just the tipping point.
I understand why he didn't go, and that was just very unfortunate and sad. And if it was me, I would be very sad. But I don't think there was anything on. Yeah, no one should have been. She was in the right to be angry because it was organised already, and he was just a bit careless and forgot the fact that he had a prior arrangement. That I think she was allowed to be very angry at that.
Yeah. Let's give him the credit of the doubt. Did he genuinely think I'll be able to make it? So they say that the photo shoot's at 7.
Yeah, I thought this through.
In America,
that show wouldn't start that late.
In America, they don't go curtain up at 7:30. It's usually 8. It's a one-woman show in the shitty theatre, and usually they usually start at like 8:30 so that you get people on the good side and they get a drink in them. And it's only a one-woman show, so let's say it's an hour 70 minutes. I think he genuinely didn't call her because he thought he would be able to make it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I think when I was watching it last night, I was thinking, like, if his photo shoot starts at 7, also, what photo shoot starts at 7? Like 7 p.m. in the evening.
Maybe when they're recording. Maybe it's because they were recording.
Yeah.
Maybe this British cameraman only works at night.
Again, biting lip.
Yeah, biting lip. There we go again. Camera, annoying Brit. Why have they put him in that hat and sunglasses? That's not that's like not the vibe at all. Everybody else is wearing what they wore at the concert. Why are they having him have to wear some shitty turned hat and sunglasses? Bite your lip. Yeah, why is he saying bite the lip? These are like slow, I think soft jazz pop band.
I think it's kind of I empathise with him in the way that I play. My instrument is the piano.
Always biting your lip.
I'm forever biting my lip. I play piano, and it's not a cool instrument, is it? It's in the band. It is a cool instrument, but for the ladies, the drums, the guitars. And I think the Brit photographer was kind of like a schoolboy taking the piss. Oh, it's the keyboard guy in the band. Go on, put the funny hat on, bite your lip. I think that it was kind of making fun of him, rather than the singer, the front man, the cool guys. Like in School of Rock, the keyboard. It's just not cool.
I feel like it's over exaggerating what cameramen are kind of like in photo shoots, because you know how they are very much like, oh, get this angle, get this specific.
You're a tiger. I'm spent.
We're doing that.
We're doing the entire trilogy. And I'm spent.
And I'm spent.
Funny guys talking after the one-woman show. I loved, oh my God, don't quit your day job. Wasn't that terrible? Aren't all one-woman shows terrible? It was like
awful.
Just terrible dialogue delivered. And then she goes, and also, there were like, how many people were in that theatre? Which two like jock guys or whatever who would hate that show?
Who were the technicians?
No, because the technician's just that fat guy who also owns the theatre, because she shakes his hand at the start.
Yeah.
And she just gives him the nod. Yeah. Flip the lights.
It must be him and like some other guy who like works at the theatre or something, because it very much sounds like they're just walking down the halls backstage.
The toilet guy.
Yeah, and
who sells Chupa Chups.
And it's just another one of these.
And then you've got, I can't pay back the theatre. Like, who do you think's going to have to pay the theatre? Mia. Who do you think's going to have to do that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the guy who's got an album.
I did think this through. I was like, surely leaving him at this stage is like the worst point. But then also, like, she probably doesn't want to rely on him. But then why quit her job?
Mia is a bad bet. I'm sure there's nuance in this argument, but I think Mia is a bad woman. Rosemary DeWitt, Sebastian's sister, the beautiful and very good
we love it.
Midge from Mad Men. Pop up a picture of, we'll do a before and after. Before the heroin addiction, after the heroin addiction. In the show, not in Rosemary DeWitt's real life. Great. Let's do just... we hold the show for a month and do all of Mad Men. Here we go. Why men stay alone. Why is it in all of these bloody movies and in real life, it's always these women, maybe I'm bringing too much personal bias into this, but it's always these women who leave these great guys, and then in the afterwards scenes, they have everything they want, and the men are alone. This was the exact same thing with Marriage Story, which hits a lot closer to home. But every single time, 500 Days of Summer, she ends up with that bloody jock guy.
My point with this is that it also, when I rewatched it, I thought, oh, that's weird that like he doesn't end up with someone. But then you think it through, and you're kind of like, well, how do I describe it? Like, he was always a bit of a difficult person.
Oh, they always say that.
That's part of the reason why they didn't work out.
It was just too nice.
Is he that difficult? Because I was thinking this, like,
I mean,
was he that bad? Because Marriage Story makes sense.
He's
Marriage
a
Story
bit of a dick.
No, he's not. When is he a dick?
I mean,
sorry.
he pushes past her.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, those two. Sorry, I'm thinking like from Lovely Night on.
Well, even in Lovely Night, he's the one to bring up the fact that, you know, it's a lovely view, but shame it's us two.
But he's also prefaced that his interest by going, maybe it means something. And she goes, nah. And he has to go, yeah, probably not. It's always her. It's always the...
No, I think they're just
perfect
they're not
for each other.
compatible.
You know what? He deserves better. Why doesn't he have some beautiful woman in that epilogue scene? Why does she get this
I think there's
boring
many
guy
reasons.
and the kid and everything, and he's got his jazz club.
Because he also just doesn't really think about her that much. Like, he doesn't
he does
do an awful lot for her.
That final shot. Let's talk about the final. Well, we'll talk about that after the break.
No, we can go for it. We've got 5 minutes.
Who do they both? Are they both still madly in love? Because the look at his face, he's madly in love with her still.
She isn't.
And
she isn't at all. She is very happy with who I presume is a writer or a producer or somebody. And he has to walk past that
David. His name's David.
It always is. Well, no, it's always Harry. No, and David, and Sebastian has to walk past that billboard of her. Beautiful shot. Imagine having to walk past that every day. I keep thinking this. Like, what if I do become like a famous actor and director and writer and all that jazz?
I shouldn't think too much about that.
But what if I do? And then there's all this, and then, well, we'll see.
Well, then I have to walk by a big poster.
I'll bring you along. You can be like Johnny Wilkes. Johnny Wilkes to Robbie Williams, that high school friend who he just tags along. West Side Story arms in the silhouette in the epilogue where she does the audition and she does. I mean, I could do it now. We don't need to do, but we will on the West Side Story episode, which will that'll be another tearjerker. What do you cry more at, West Side Story or this?
This probably.
I haven't seen West Side in a long time. I know I can pinpoint the specific points where I cry in this. I'll need to rewatch West Side to know when I cry and how often I do.
I think this just has a very there's a lot of relatable emotions.
Well, yeah.
Are you okay, Tom?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've never been in a Puerto Rican gang and had my lover be shot. So I guess, however, I had my heart ripped through my ass.
I think West Side Story is more of a sympathetic cry, and La La Land's more of an empathetic cry.
Well, this is the thing. We'll get to this after the break. But Tom's big question. I went. Oh God. Went on a real deep dive of movies where they don't get together. and I've split them into two categories, where death splits them and where it's an emotional split.
Oh.
Or like a chosen split. So we'll get to that after the break. Quick recast. Is this movie a lot better if you don't know if Emma Stone is somebody else?
No.
No.
I think,
as I said before, I think you need Emma and Ryan. Particularly, like, if you're going to change Emma, change Ryan as well. Because
no, don't change him. Just change her. What about 80s Meg Ryan?
I think Emma is wonderful in this. I could not think of anyone better for that part than Emma.
Agree.
Definitely not Emma Watson.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely not Emma Watson. We were just talking about mansplaining. I think we should talk about some of the issues that people have with the film. Primarily two things. The first half is mainly just Sebastian mansplaining things to Mia, Jazz, even her own chosen career in shaming her that she hasn't seen Robber Without a Cause. I don't
think it's that bad. It's not noticeable. I mean, the Jazz thing, like, she doesn't know Jazz. And I've had that conversation before. I've been like, I hate Jazz, and somebody has said, how can you hate Jazz? And then basically explained all the good things about Jazz.
Do you hate Jazz?
I used to.
Oh,
and then I met my ex.
Now you still hate Jazz? Now you hate Jazz again?
Now I hate Jazz again.
Also, maybe we're not the people to talk about this as three people whiter than the Antarctic. But obviously there is the issue of many people had that there's not enough black people in it for a film about jazz. I've never saw this as a problem because it's not a film about jazz. It's a film about a single guy who happens to like jazz.
And they still show that in The Lighthouse it's
primarily black,
primarily.
Yeah. And it's not like it's Ray or like Bird, the movie Bird, and you've got a white guy playing Charlie Bird, or like, or Mississippi Burning, where they just, dismiss the actual black history and give it to white people. I've just I've never understood the issue, because for me it's not a film about the history of jazz or jazz in itself. It's the film of a love story between a man who likes jazz.
It could be slightly more diverse, I suppose, but so can most movies, to be honest.
You could probably make it more diverse by, and I think I think they understood the issue of diversity, because maybe I'm being stereotypical, but I'm guessing that the role of Keith wasn't originally written for a white guy. It wasn't originally written for a black guy, from the name Keith. And they just never changed the name. Or maybe they did change the name, and Damien Chazelle just came up with something really offensive, and John Legend said,
Keith?
Just keep it as Keith. It's like, why John Legend comes to him, why do you have to change the name? What's wrong with Keith? Nothing. Tom's big question. Would you rather have love or your dream?
What time did you watch this?
Very early in the morning. Because obviously that's the thing of the film. The film says that you can have... Well, no, this is the other problem. The film says that you can have both if you're Mia. Mia gets both. Mia gets love and her dream. Poor Sebastian can only have one. Poor Charlie in Marriage Story can only have one.
Then again, isn't his love jazz?
I don't think it's necessarily a choice between.
I think
love
he'd prefer
and
to have
dream.
something I'd love to go home to.
I think it's just that pairing of people wasn't going to work because they both had such big dreams. Whereas her dream probably worked with someone who had like a I don't know, a dream to work in an office or in something less sort of
There you go.
changing.
Mia again. Right. What's the best they don't get together movies? I've split them into two categories, where death ends it, or where it's a choice, whether it's one person or another. Okay, so we'll start with death. Titanic, Dr. Zhivago, Harold and Maude, any of the Star is Borns, West Side Story, The English Patient, Moulin Rouge, Vertigo. What is the best movie in that list?
Titanic.
Will, you're going with Titanic?
I'd like to throw Ghost into the mix.
Yeah, but he's already dead.
Well, not right at the beginning.
No, he gets to throw in Ditto. I love you, Ditto. Oh,
what about Brokeback?
Oh my God! I don't know why I'm...
Brokeback Mountain off.
Yeah, what did I miss? What did I miss? Did I miss any others?
Edward Scissorhands. Oh, he doesn't die.
Nobody dies. That's on my other list.
Is it? A wonderful
Brokeback Mountain's
movie.
pretty great. What's the best final sniff in a film? Is it Jake Gyllenhaal? Is it Heath Ledger sniffing Jake Gyllenhaal's jacket, or is it Annette Bening sniffing Kevin Spacey's clothes at the end of American Beauty?
Oh, it's American Beauty.
It is American Beauty. That's correct.
I can tell you two movies that you've written on your non-deaf lists, and I know exactly what they are.
Go.
One of them is Over Your Shoulder.
Oh, Casablanca. Yeah, I was like,
yes.
Over Your Shoulder. Is that a foreign film?
No, you definitely put Casablanca, and you definitely put Annie Hall on there.
Yes, I have. So,
yes.
No deaf movies. La La Land, Casablanca, Gone with the Wind, Annie Hall, 500 Days of Summer, Crimes and Misdemeanors, Educating Rita, Drive, Blue Valentine, Edward Scissorhands, and The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. What's the best of them? You're going Educating Rita over Casablanca, over
No,
Annie
I wasn't
Hall?
choosing it. I was just saying Educating Rita is superb. I do very much enjoy.
I mean, La La Land is my favourite film, and I haven't seen some of those, but I still think La La Land.
Casablanca's pretty great.
Yeah, it gives us something that we don't get in the other ones, which is the sort of what could have been. Because in all the other ones, we imagine what could have been. Well, Annie Hall, I tell a lie. Annie Hall, at the end of Annie Hall, he writes a play where she does take him back. Wish fulfillment. That's my list. Closing line Hall of Fame.
The closing line is actually
1, 2, 3, 4.
The "Shall we go" thing, and
I've got no, we should go. All right, and then it's the looks, and then it's
the
1,
looks.
2,
This
3,
is the
4,
thing.
1, 2, 3, 4.
La La Land doesn't have like an amazing opening line or closing line. It's the opening scene and the closing looks.
That's unfortunate because that's not what the category is.
Well, then it doesn't do very well. But those looks, oh my God, those looks! That's what gets you right at the end.
It sure does.
I've never seen so much heartbreak in someone's eyes than in Ryan Gosling's in that shot.
I know what you said, Will, about it could be a short film, but I feel like no, you need the whole thing because, you see that scene in the trailer and you think, oh, okay, cool. But when you see that look at the end of that 2-hour film, when you've seen the whole character development, the whole relationship develop and then break apart, it's just heartbreaking.
And he's
Horrible.
cooking those fish things. He's cooking all that fish, wearing his beautiful suit that he will wear later that night.
It's gonna stink.
He's
no
going
one's gonna want to go near him.
Stink of, that's why. Maybe that's why he doesn't have a beautiful blonde in the final scene, because he is always stinking of fish. Bloody hell, Ryan! Sort your shit out.
I mean, how would you rank it in terms of opening and closing line compared to Airplane then?
Far from.
Airplane,
it has to be said.
Is better on both accounts. It has to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. All right. Also, give me a wide shot. I'd never liked the final thing of it fading to black on him. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, you'd rather a pan of the whole room and him playing in the slow zoom backwards. That would be nice. Yeah.
More than, or a wide shot going into him. Just don't stay in that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it fades out, and then you've got the end. I like the end.
I think the best line, the best line, this could be a new segment, best line of the film. Welcome to Seb's.
Yeah.
I
had that in one of my weirdly specific favourite part. I am Seb's. Very deep, very low, very quiet.
And the rest of the band's kind of like, I don't know what's going on. What's going on?
Is he like? Well, no, I think they do know what's going on, because every night he gets depressed after 2 whiskeys, and he's like, I'm gonna play my song. He's played it again. Like,
why does he play it without? He just plays the melody. He doesn't play any accompaniment, and everyone sits down and claps, and he's just playing a melody with his right hand.
Yeah, he makes everybody sit down. Everybody's having a great time.
And then he just slows it down.
Big jazz band.
The big depressed alcoholic owner comes along.
Yeah,
it's my turn now.
Sebs. Mia was quite lucky, because that's one of the one nights where he didn't verbally abuse his customers when they said, stop playing the same song. He just starts throwing things at them. You reek of fish, you fishy bastard. You reek of fish. You're drunk and you're playing the same song again. City of Stars.
One of the things I like about this film as well is that they make out the songs to all be like, they're not things that they composed as such. It's like they're almost covers of the songs, because like City of Stars, you know, when he starts playing it and she comes and sits down, unless like they wrote it together, which is not really like explicit, it more seems like the kind of situation where, like, you know, one person in the relationship starts playing some chords and you're like, oh, I know that song, and you start singing along. And
like in Corpse Bride.
Exactly like in Corpse Bride.
And the same thing goes for Mia and Sebastian's theme, because she sort of, well, maybe the first time it's just like, ooh, that's good piano playing, but she seems to like the song. And then when it's played on the speakers in the restaurant,
I don't like that. I don't like that. I should have mentioned this.
Yeah, is that
it's supposed to
her
be
imagining it or not?
Yeah, if she's imagining it, then it should be like
it should
she
be more,
closes her eyes and she hears it. Yeah, she closes her eyes and you've got
the way it zooms in on the speaker. Yes, it's to kind of show that he's not there, but also it makes it seem like it is actually playing from the speaker.
And also, she's got the bit where she goes, what's that? What's that? Mugging.
Where is he?
Mugging for the back rows. And he's in the corner with the Casio. Tom's other big questions. Will Sebastian ever find somebody that perfect again, who will love him back, who will stay?
Yes, but better.
No, he won't. And that's the beauty of the film. He will never find anyone like that ever again. And that's why it's such a well-written movie and character. He'll be forever. That's my synopsis of the sequel. He's in a retirement
Oh yeah,
home,
synopsis
and
of the sequel.
he's just playing this. And he thinks he's still in the bar, and he gets
That should have been the final shot. It's him counting down 1, 2, 3, 4, but it doesn't fade, and then somebody comes up to him and it's like, Sam, it's bedtime. It's like the Irishman. He's old. You go, leave the door open. I like the door open. And then in the corner he's got all of his stacked DVDs, and he just spends his time watching Mia films. That's the ending. That should be the ending. Right, before we move on to next week's, any final comments on what is, Becky, your favourite film?
Just a stunning film. Cinematography is beautiful. The use of colour, the storyline, the way it really plays on sort of everyone has like a dream sort of job or a dream in their life, and it really plays on that and makes you think about like how should I go about that and how it interweaves with relationships. I just everything about this film just perfect.
Right. William, first watch, first review. Go on. Were you right to have dismissed it all these years?
Of course, I'm never wrong. What I will say, what I really enjoy about this film is how understated it is. It doesn't try to show off like a lot of big movie musicals do. It's about the story. It's not about, oh, and now we're doing a big showy song. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful.
Pretty great stuff. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Lovely film. I think it's going to have a second life eventually, like Titanic is now. It's your typical Titanic. I think Star is Born actually had a bit of this, where it started off with buzz. This is the greatest film ever made. This is going to sweep the Oscars. Backlash. And, I mean, it led to Star is Born actually not winning much. And I don't know why. Star is Born was excellent.
Question is Star is Born going to have a comeback, or is it just going to have another remake?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure in 20 years there'll be another one. But there's only how many, like...
I think it's the third time now.
The fourth. So you've got the black and white one, and then you had the coloured colour Judy Garland version with James Mason, and that was where she's a movie star. And then they reinvented it and made it a pop star with Barbara Streisand and Chris Christopherson. And then you've done this remake, and is still a pop star. I just don't know what can change. The only way I can unless you come up with another star that they can be, it's not a movie star or a singing star. But I don't know. Leave it. Leave Star is Born. 4 is nice. But Star is Born is great. You're fucking ugly. You're ugly. Next week is Becky, unfortunately, will not be joining us. We will have Amelia, an American. She's coming. She's live from America, joining us for a double bill. Well, no, over 2 weeks. Election, starring Matthew Broderick and Reese Witherspoon. Great film. Is this a first watch for you, Will?
It is.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I love Matthew Broderick. Yeah,
this is spoilers for the podcast. This is my favourite Matthew Broderick film.
It's not Deck the Halls.
Who's your daddy? Let me just make a note. Put in who's your daddy clip. Who's your daddy clip.
Well, you're a guy, right? Yeah, come on. Hey, is it getting hot out here, or is it just you girls? Oh, nice dip. Wow. Ow. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, baby, who's your daddy?
Yeah, no, this is my favourite, without a shadow of a doubt. I think Reese Witherspoon is excellent in it. I think you're going to really like it. And then Becky will be joining us again, because the week after that, we will be looking at a younger and more fresh-faced Matthew Broderick with his day off, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Matthew Broderick's
Day Off, which was most days in between 89 and 95.
After the crash.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. We'll have to dissect. Becky, do you know about Matthew Broderick's car accident?
No.
Oh, should we? We'll do this now. We'll do it now. Should we save it or should we do it now?
Oh, are we finishing La La Land with a story about
Matthew Broderick? I think we've brought it up now. Basically, Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Grey were dating after Ferris Bueller, and was it Wales or was it Scotland?
I don't know.
He was in Wales. He was in a British Isle with Jennifer Grey, and he just blacked out at the wheel and then ploughed into somebody in the next lane and killed somebody.
Oh,
it's
And this was like all secret because, well, it wasn't all secret. You can't keep a secret for that long. But their relationship was secret, yeah. I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
Becky, do you want to say goodbye?
And I'm Becky.
And I'm Becky. And this has been
and thank you for having me.
It's all right.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been great. And this has been the Matthew Broderick Crash podcast. It's been a pleasure. And done.
How could I resist?
Da ba da ba da ba da.